Greetings collectors and welcome to today's retro game review. I thought that I would take us all the way back to 1985 today to take a fond look back at an arcade classic that became a much beloved Commodore 64 and Amiga port. Today's game is of course Buggy Boy. The original arcade edition of Buggy Boy was a sight to behold, boasting a fully functioning steering wheel, shift stick and 3 monitors for engrossing gameplay. This was the arcade after all, and games were able to deliver an experience beyond just simple button pushing. A smaller revised upright cabinet was also released for convenience, sometimes known as Buggy Jr. The cabinet retained the steering wheel and the shift mechanism, but fit more neatly into a single monitor cabinet. The arcade editions by Tatsumi were prime for a journey into the home, with Taito picking up the international publishing rights to the game and Data East doing the honours in North America. I have here the Commodore Amiga edition of the game included in the legendary 10-star pack. There's no steering wheel or cabinet here, but there is a lot of fun to be had. Side by side, you can clearly see that some concessions were made in bringing this one back to the home computers of the day. The arcade edition goes for a much chunkier aesthetic, as well as a wider range of colours and overall enhancements such as the level of detail in the surroundings. Although both editions play in a very similar way, by far the largest difference here was the skidding mechanic of the arcade. Venture too far off the main track and experience some basic skid physics to absorb you into the game. This is sadly missing from the home editions. Graphically speaking, the arcade edition uses a form of sprite scaling to create the illusion of moving forward. This is also true of the home releases, although the lower frame rate and the intervals of scaled sprite sometimes don't quite sell the story as the superior arcade edition had done. Never you mind though, as the Commodore Amiga edition of Buggy Boy is packed with gameplay goodness and does feel very much like the arcade original in many ways. The game retains all of the original courses of the arcade and feels very faithful to the original concept. Selecting the off-road map will see you complete laps of a course as opposed to the point-to-point nature of the other 4 tracks. I would highly recommend starting here whilst you get to grips with the game mechanics. What looks like quite a basic game actually has quite a bit of depth to it. First of all, a timer. This will be your greatest enemy as the timer will deplete. You have to make it to the next checkpoint in order to get another hit of time extension. However, this alone won't be enough. You'll also need to drive through at least some of the time gates to top up your playtime. Often this will require a bit of skill as the game likes to place them behind or very near to other obstacles. The other major mechanic is the point scoring system, which is somewhat unique to Buggy Boy. As you drive around the track, you'll encounter numerous coloured flags in your path. The aim here is to collect them in the colour sequence indicated in the top right of the screen. Activate all 5 and you'll be treated to a rather jingly tune and all the flags become universal, meaning that this is now a prime time to collect more and trigger the next rainbow wave if you can. It's an utterly simple concept, yet really adds variety into the gameplay. Do you risk the harder manoeuvres for a shot at higher point scores, or play it safe and concentrate on the time barrier? It's a fine balancing act. Of course, Buggy Boy also throws in bonus items such as kicking footballs, minor road stones that will put your buggy onto 2 wheels, and of course logs to jump over. Add into this the low-high shift stick and you're going to want to replay this one a few times to get the best out of it. Despite the downgrading graphics, Buggy Boy really sells that quick-fire arcade racing action of the arcade to this day. Sprite scaling on elements such as walls are handled rather well, and although the game looks very dated even when compared to other games of the time, it retains a playability that still keeps me coming back for more. Buggy Boy will certainly appeal to the nostalgic crowd that played it back in the day, but I dare say that it will also appeal to a younger generation, just looking for a bit of good honest fun. Until next time, happy gaming. Hello again, I hope you enjoyed today's show and thank you for the view. Remember, you can always comment, like, subscribe and find us on the social media sites below. Happy collecting!